are the loudest and highest flowing intakes for your G90 M5. We're gonna install them, tell you guys why they're the best, and then show you exactly what they sound like. This is super easy to install. You can do it yourself in your house, and within an hour, you're gonna have the loudest G90 out there. So the factory intakes on this car are two air boxes that look like most BMW V8 motors. From the F10 M5 up, it all looks pretty much the same. The ducting, however, does not route to the grills. Some of these cars, they do. On this one, they're actually blocked off the holes, and the ducting just ends up behind the headlight area somewhere. To do the install process, super duper simple. The top M-Power cover just pops right up super easily. We're gonna actually take this piece off next. This just pulls. This cover is held on with these little clips, and they come off nicely with a little pry tool thingy. Or if you don't have that, I often use flush cut pliers. You have to be careful to not damage anything. This has actually arrows on it. When you put this back together, they just pop down, but to remove it, you actually have to push this whole thing that way. You can push a little and slide, and then it releases. Same thing on this side. Once that panel is off, the duct right here runs here to that opening. Normally on the grill, there's this vent, and you see this vent, but unfortunately on this car, it's 100% blocked off here. And what does that mean for you? It means normally when you duct air into the grills, like a lot of cars have, you get colder air when you're driving. While this is still gonna suck air from wherever it can, it's not gonna work as good. Pretty much having filters on the hood like a factory airbox, there's two major issues with that. One is restriction. The OEM panel filter is not the best flowing intake. They do a lot of that because there's noise restriction and stuff. They duct a certain way for noise to reduce it. A lot of cars have silencers on them. And the second part is, this is gonna be hotter in the engine bay, ducting from a random hole that ends in this vicinity, compared to air filters in your grill. We typically see between, let's say, 10 and 50 degree different IATs. It might sound crazy, but a lot of that depends on the power your car makes. Stock power, you're gonna see on the lower end. If your car's modified, you're running more boost, you have a piggyback or a real ECU tune, you're gonna gain more and more lowered air temp on your car. And that's because the turbo spout more hot air, and it's constantly plumbing in the coldest air possible. Versus like underhood intake, while they might make great power, and I know the same, let's say 20 horsepower, something like my intakes would make, the problem is on the road, they're sucking really hot air. They're a horrible idea. It makes a little bit more noise, the underhood ones, but then it ends there. Our front mounts are the loudest, and they're gonna flow the most. They're larger than the factory inlets, so they're gonna flow more. They have a radius inlet air filter, imagine like a velocity stack, and they're wire reinforced, so they will not suck shut if the filters get dirty over time. On both sides, you have these flathead screws. In theory, you're only gonna really remove one, but for simplicity, both probably come off. These Torx here, these bolts here, we're just popping these covers off to get a little bit more access to that bolt down there. Depending how you do it, you might have to, you might not have to. And then you can take this off as you want, but it usually just pops out of the bottom. This part, basically the inlet off first, and then the second piece should come off. And then the pipe should come off. You're good right here if you like that. Cool, perfect. Now, there is a little line right here. The whole air box pops right out, typically. That comes off. And then you can see in here, that is all sound insulation. That makes the car quieter. And then that's the OEM panel filter. This is the duct I was talking about before. So guys, I released this first. This top piece right here in the grill, I pulled up, and then this whole door came off. That's the duct where the new intake is gonna route. Now with that off, to get each of these ducts to come out of here, boy, it's gonna be a little bit of work. I would suggest two people. I wouldn't say it's difficult. It just needs two hands. From the engine bay side, he stuck his hand in, he pushed this part outward. And then you push the other side and it comes off. Sort of when you get one side, the second side will be relatively easy, but it takes a lot of force. The second person just to hold tension on it. Could be done with one person probably. Would it be fun? Not the most fun. Then one piece comes out and then the second one comes out. The reason why is it hits the frame rail a little bit. If you don't care about it, you're never gonna put it back on. You probably take a hammer, like a pry bar or something, and just pry it out and it will crack and break. Guys, for the second side, just do the same thing, please. Before you put the intakes in, always lube up your intake. Soapy water, Windex, whatever you got. If you're wondering why we're spraying now, it's because every time we say, oh, we'll just try it, and it does not fit, it does not work. You'll spend 20 minutes like this, or 2 minutes once it's wet. And the intake tube pretty much just gets pushed in and, hey yo, it gets pushed in and rotated and then forced through this hole. This pipe will actually go behind that bar back there, and that's on purpose, that's by design. This will go on here. You'll get one hose clamp here. We'll do the other side too. For the other side duct, passenger side in America, this does slide out in one piece. There's a lot of wiggling and prying with your hands to get it out. You need to rotate about this way. On the other side, you need to rotate the opposite way because this hit the frame rail. Is there a chance you can get that side out? I don't know, maybe, but we just pop it apart. We often almost put the whole intake tube in, then we'll actually pop this piece back off and put this little strut brace on. And there is a reason behind that because I don't want to have the strut brace bang against the whole engine bay multiple times. We just want to get the whole intake tube in, clock it correctly. And because this silicone is flexible enough to pop it off, slide the brace on, put the brace back on. This does not delete the braces or remove them in any way. And once again, soapy water, of course. Oh, wait. What do you think, guys? Is this freaking sick or what? You guys love this? Guys, the red intake, red interior, red brakes, red engine cover. So on one side that comes with a rubber spacer, it goes in here. And then it will easily slide over the intake and it will all stay intact. Part of the design on it. Once you have all that lined up good, you will slip the metal brace back on it and it will look pretty much like this. You'll have metal brace, one bolt there, one bolt here, one bolt here. Hose clamp, you'll line up nicely. We usually tuck them in the back so they don't see them too much. Before anyone roast me for not having everything symmetrical in the engine bay, BMW did not put the motor symmetrical in the engine bay, so it's never gonna look perfectly symmetrical. So in terms of logos and all the other stuff, it's as close as possible, but the turbos even, this inlet is more far forward and routed a little bit more that way. The motor's not center line in the car, so nothing's gonna be perfect. But the grille portion, boys, the part you can't really see on this car, that's gonna be perfectly even because we can control that. We can't control where BMW puts the inlets. If you've been wondering, how are you gonna get the air filters onto the piping? Not taking the grills out, we're not taking the bumper off. If you want to take the bumper off, you're more than welcome to. It is possible to do without it. BMW made this massive opening in the front bumper that we're gonna put the filters through and up. And there's tons of room on the top to get them on there. This freaking hole is huge. It goes in. Guys, be careful not to scratch your bumper. If you want to put the metal joiner in first, you can onto the pipe. And once it's up here, boy, is it a little strange to try to do this and get it up there. But if you look at this one, we are there. The first one's gonna be pretty easy to pop up there. The second one's gonna be a little bit harder just because it's gonna get a little bit more thought before you do it. And the reason for that is that you're gonna have another filter in there, so it's gonna be a little bit more limited on space. The grill does come off, we think, pretty easily with like this bolt and the big bolt down there. But then you sort of gotta pry the bumper off to the bumper comes and the grill stays, and then they separate and lift out. So you can do that. We just didn't want to pry on this car that's a few days old. So we decided, we looked at it and we realized that it will go together this way. It might take a little bit of brain power, a little thought to make it all work. It's a little bit tight, it's gonna work. And something to think about, guys, always, we're putting the hose clamps up and we're putting the metal part of the filter in a way that you don't see it from the top and you don't see it from the front. I don't like to see the metal line on the filter where it's joined together like this. And some people don't care. Some people like it. I see people put it, some people, it kills it when you guys put it unevenly. If you want to see the line, make it even, guys. And something to note, I'm not sure if I noted this before, is that if you get the piping from us, right, and one of these pipes has a dent on it or something strange, the piping's not round, while it is silicone, it is very hard silicone and has wire reinforcement inside of it. And that means that it can't suck shut over time. If these air filters get dirty and now you have vacuum in the tubing, if you don't have wire reinforcement or extremely hard silicone or both, what will happen is it can suck shut. So with that wire, sometimes the way it's shipped, when we fold them up into a box and you take it out, it will look like the piping is squished a little bit. It will never be folded in half, but it might be not completely round. Just take your hands and just squish it and you'll feel like there's no metal here, but there's metal here and here. You'll just make it round again and then it will look amazing. This air filter on the inside is actually smooth, so you don't want this metal joiner going too deep. The same way this filter is smooth here, it's smooth on the inside, which is called radius inlet. If this goes way too deep, you can, in theory, have it start blocking it. The best way to handle this is you put this on the tubing first in there. You put it on the tubing, then you completely tighten it to the tubing, then you put the air filter on top of it, and that way you know it's good. Otherwise, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. If you don't tighten either side, you push together, you don't really know where either thing is settled. This is the final view on the intake install before you guys hear the sound clips. Is this little cover thingy goes back on. And like I said earlier, these just pop down, pops down, pops down. Little clips go here. The rubber seal just pushes back down.
Yo, it's torquey as fuck.
The torque is crazy. They're loud. These things are loud. I can't unfortunately figure out how to rev it in neutral and make it super loud, to be very honest with you guys. What do you guys, when you get these intakes and figure it out, you guys can comment down below. What do you think?
Yo, it's so torquey.
The torque's crazy.
It's insane.
They're loud. It's crazy. I don't know if it's actually really this torquey or if it's like just fake because it just, the suspension just so soft for a 15,000 pound car or whatever the weight is in this thing.